Lamont Roach Jr. and Gervonta "Tank" Davis's contentious fight, which has generated intense discussions, court cases, and demands for justice, has left the boxing community in a frenzy. Fans, commentators, and even other fighters began to doubt the sport's legitimacy after this battle, which wasn't simply another night in the ring. The drama started as soon as the last bell rung, with Davis at the center of a tempest that has become larger than the actual fight and Roach believing he had been robbed. While the WBA tries to handle the aftermath, what began as a competitive fight has devolved into a story involving attorneys, accusations of wrongdoing, and calls for a rematch. Let's examine what transpired, why it has everyone talking, and its future course. The actual battle proved to be far more difficult than many had anticipated. Davis, a lightweight monarch who had hardly been challenged, entered as the unbeaten superstar and was renowned for his explosive power and cunning defense. In the view of casual fans, Roach, a talented but underappreciated competitor, wasn't meant to be a serious threat. However, it was evident from the first few rounds that this would not be an easy victory. Roach arrived with the intention of winning, not merely surviving. Few had ever seen him make Davis appear human, control the rhythm, and make finer shots. Tank's career-defining speed and dominance weren't fully evident. Rather, Roach set the pace, becoming more powerful as the round went on, while Davis was having trouble getting into his typical rhythm. Particularly noteworthy was the 9th round. In an unexpected gesture that startled the audience and caused instant debate, Davis took a knee. According to Roach's team, the scorecards might have moved in their favor if it had been declared a knockdown, an obligatory count. However, the referee chose not to call it, and Davis subsequently justified it as a voluntary drop because his vision was blurred by hair gel getting in his eye. Fans didn't believe it. A strange sound for a fighter who had established his reputation on invincibility. Boos showered down. It appeared to many that Davis was looking for a break, a moment to regroup in the face of an unrelenting Roach. The post-fight conflagration was based on just one non-call. The tension peaked when the scorecards were read. Davis won 114 and 115 to 113, a majority draw. Despite the general consensus that Roach had done enough to win, his hand was not raised. Social media went crazy. Roach's supporters referred to it as a robbery. Everyone agreed that Roach had outworked the champion. Even those who inclined toward Davis acknowledged that it was close. Many found the 114 to 114 scores strange. How could a match that appeared to be so clearly in Roach's favor wind up being evenly matched? As he made his way back to the locker room, Davis acknowledged that he was irritated but added that his teammates encouraged him and told him he had done well. Roach, on the other hand, was left feeling as though he had been denied a triumph that would have defined his career. Roach disclosed something about their in-ring conversation that made the aftermath even more dramatic. Davis allegedly informed him, "You ain't gonna win," during their verbal sparring in the 11th or 12th round. "You won't get it from them." At the time, Roach dismissed it with a joke, but he couldn't get rid of the suspicion that something was rigged when the draw was revealed, exactly as Davis had predicted. Was Tank aware that the patch was in place? Was the result predetermined? It's a serious charge that has stoked rumors of boxing corruption. "That's how boxing works," Roach said bluntly. "I regret to inform you of this." Had the judges or someone higher up made sure Davis wouldn't lose his shine? That was the inference that hung heavy. Roach had no intention of overlooking it. His team promptly challenged the ruling and requested a review by submitting a formal complaint to the New York State Athletic Commission. Each of the three main points they are promoting has the power to change the outcome. First, the non-call in the 9th round. They contend that Roach lost a 10-8 round that would have shifted the scorecards in his favor because the referee did not count Davis's knee as a knockdown. Most analysts who have seen the video again concur that it appeared to be a textbook knockout. Second, they are accusing Davis of misbehavior and citing the hair gel justification. Roach's attorneys contend that it was a foreign substance that disrupted the battle and therefore qualified as an illegal irritant. They say it's grounds for disqualification if proven. Lastly, they are hoping for one of three results: a TKO victory for Roach because Davis chose to take a knee, a victory that is disqualified because of the gel, or a scorecard that is updated to reflect the missed knockdown and award the decision to Roach. This has become a circus due to the legal pressure. Supporters are divided. While some defend Davis as the victim of unwarranted scrutiny, others view Roach as an underdog who has been victimized. Theories abound on the internet. Someone checked the blockchain, bet there was a big withdrawal 30 minutes after the fight, joked one ex-user. Unless it is repaired, no shot a draw pays out 22 times. They contend that the math doesn't make up 12 rounds, 3 judges, and a draw? Although it's a stretch, this type of conversation is what's sustaining it. It might be one of the biggest upsets in boxing history, both in the ring and in the record books, if Roach's squad wins. Davis has generally remained silent, allowing the commotion to envelop him. Being untouchable has been the fighter's legacy, thus this debate is a rare flaw. The aura he has built could be damaged by a defeat or even a damaged attraction. Roach is doubling hard in the meanwhile, promising to retrieve what is rightfully his. He declared, "Justice must be served. I had that night. I deserve what is rightfully mine since I did what I do best." His determination has only strengthened the demands for a rematch, a chance to finally address the issue. Everything was there in the first fight: drama, skill, and now a legal twist. The stakes for a second round would be far higher than just titles. This is also not being ignored by the WBA. In response to the controversy, President Gilberto Mendoza has hinted that a rematch would be the most straightforward solution. Although discussions are taking place behind closed doors, Davis is not eager to rush it back. He has more ambitious plans, such as unification fights with Vasily Lomachenko or Shakur Stevenson. But he might not have much option if the WBA orders a rematch. If he doesn't, they might take away his title, which would completely upend his heritage. Even for its biggest stars, the governing body wants to send a message that weak officiating is unacceptable. However, this debacle has raised broader questions about boxing's legitimacy, so it's not just about Roach and Davis. The WBA runs the risk of losing the faith of its irate fans if nothing is done. Other combatants are also contributing. Never one to keep quiet, Ryan Garcia has spoken out. He perceives a double standard after his own conflicts with boxing's establishment, where his victory over Devin Haney was revoked because of a contested drug test. He vented on X, saying, "They took my win, but Tank gets a pass?" Garcia maintains that Roach prevailed and charges the commission with shielding some fighters while penalizing others. He has no personal grudge toward Davis. "I respect Tank, he's great. But he is incensed by what he describes as inconsistent decisions." It's personal to Garcia. He plans to unleash hell during his bout with Rolando Romero on May 2nd as a way to vent his rage. Garcia believes he could perform better in a rematch someday if Davis struggled against Roach. "Never seen someone take a knee and not get counted," Terence Crawford tweeted during the bout, adding his own commentary. "Tonight, I must have forgotten the rules." Davis retaliated quietly by sharing a video of a similar non-call that occurred during Crawford's 2019 fight with Egidijus Kavaliauskas. What's the difference? Nevertheless, Crawford defeated his opponent. The comparison hurts less because Davis didn't. In contrast, Shakur Stevenson acknowledged his admiration for Roach's performance by offering Roach a shot at the title if the rematch doesn't work out. "The best fights are what I want," Stevenson declared. Lamont is a canine. Another element is added by Roach's past with Davis. According to Roach, the score favored Tank in their 2 amateur matches. Now, he has a grudge, and the boxing world's attention, because this professional battle is a reverberation of that history. In order to prevent the NYSAC from ignoring this, his team is maintaining the pressure. Roach wants his due, whether it means a rematch or a judicial overturn. For his part, Davis is aware that a rematch might either silence the skeptics or put him at further risk of being exposed. He acknowledged that his production, which was 32 punches per round, was insufficient. After the battle, he thought, "Maybe you get him out sooner if you throw 40. Fans now view this as a vote on the fairness of boxing, not just a bout. The future of the sport may depend on what the WBA does next. The title is at stake if Davis avoids the rematch, which appears certain. History will be altered if Roach prevails in court. In any case, this is far from the end of the story. What happens next will be decided by the attorneys, the ring, or both. There is little doubt that Tank's world was rocked by Roach's performance, and the effects are still being felt.